You've spent years carrying what no one ever saw, smiling when you wanted to disappear, fixing everything except yourself. And now, in this quiet room, it finally catches up. Not the pain, the truth. You're not weak. You're just tired of pretending to be strong. Tonight isn't about fixing anything. It's about remembering how it feels to rest, without guilt, without noise, without anyone's expectations. This is where peace begins again, not from others, but from the silence that's been waiting for you. Stay here for a while. Let the Stoic words steady your mind and remind your heart that solitude was never your punishment. It was the doorway back to yourself. You've walked through love, through noise, through faces that never truly saw you. And now, maybe for the first time, the world feels quiet. Not empty, just quiet. Lonely men often forget this. Solitude isn't a punishment. It's the forge where your strength returns, but only if you stop running from it. You don't need to prove anything tonight. You don't need to be the strong one. The peace you've been chasing doesn't come from someone's arms. It comes from finally resting in your own. So if you're lying here alone, remember, you're not broken. You're rebuilding. And the silence around you isn't rejection. It's recovery. Let it hold you. Let it teach you that peace doesn't need an audience. For years you've been performing, for work, for love, for approval. You learned how to survive by pretending to be fine, but pretending is exhausting. It drains the soul drop by drop until even laughter feels heavy. So tonight, no performance, no masks, no "I'm okay" as you are. And that is finally enough. There's something sacred about being alone long enough to meet the man underneath the noise, the one who stopped chasing, the one who finally listens. This is where you begin again. Not in another relationship, not in another success, but in the quiet honesty of your own company. You see, solitude isn't what breaks a man, it's what shows him what's real. And when you stop running, when you sit long enough with yourself, you realize you were never truly alone. The silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. It holds the voice you lost while trying to please everyone else. And when you finally hear it, peace feels less like an idea and more like coming home. So breathe slowly, let the shoulders drop. Let the thoughts drift like leaves on water. There's nowhere to go right now, nothing to prove. You've carried enough for one lifetime. This night is for release, for remembering that you've already survived every version of 2-1 and you're still here, not weaker, but softer, wiser, closer to truth. Stay with me. Let the Stoic words ahead wash through you. They won't demand anything. They'll simply guide you back to stillness, steady, grounded, unshaken. There's a kind of hunger that food can't touch. It hides beneath every scroll, every message, every quiet hour that feels too long. It's not the body that's starving. It's the soul. You tell yourself you're just checking your phone, but really you're asking the same silent question over and over again. Do I matter to someone right now? It's strange how attention feels like warmth for a second. A text, a like, a little rush of being seen, but it fades so quickly you go chasing another hit. And slowly your peace becomes dependent in the noise outside you. I once met a man who said, "I don't care if they love me or hate me. I just can't stand being ignored." He thought that was strength, but it was a quiet kind of hunger, the kind that never gets full. When you live like that, every silence feels like punishment. But silence isn't punishment. It's the sound of detox. Your mind is learning to live without constant validation. Imagine a candle flickering in the wind. Each gust makes it shake, nearly die, until one day you shield it with your hands. That's what happens when you stop feeding on reactions. You protect your flame instead of letting every passing breeze control it. Right now, you might still crave that ping, that message, that voice reminding you that you exist. But peace doesn't come from being seen. It comes from being still long enough to see yourself. Try this small reflection. Notice the next time your hand reaches for the phone without reason. Don't fight it, just pause. Ask quietly, what am I really looking for right now? Usually it's not the message, it's comfort. It's proof that you matter. But here's what the Stoics understood. If your worth depends on being remembered, you'll live as a ghost in other people's minds. Freedom begins when you can sit in the quiet and still feel whole. So as you lie here, breathe. Let the need for response soften. Let your heartbeat be the only signal you wait for, because that's the only one that ever truly belonged to you. Some nights, the quiet isn't peaceful. It hums, low, steady, like a distant storm that never comes. You turn on the TV for background noise. You scroll until the blue light hurts your eyes. Anything to keep from hearing that hum. But the truth is, you're not afraid of silence. You're afraid of what silence reveals. When the world finally goes still, there's nowhere left to run. Every choice you postponed, every emotion you avoided, every version of you that you left unfinished, they all sit down beside you in the dark. And that can feel unbearable, because silence doesn't flatter you. It doesn't clap. It doesn't lie. It simply holds up a mirror and says, this is where you are. I once met a man who said he couldn't fall asleep unless the radio was on. He said it wasn't about the music, it was about the distraction. He feared that if the noise stopped, his thoughts would start talking again. And maybe you understand that feeling, the kind of loneliness that echoes louder in a quiet room. But here's what the wise understood. Silence isn't an enemy to escape. It's a teacher you have been ignoring. When you finally stop filling every second, something sacred begins to happen. The mind stops performing. The heart starts whispering. At first, those whispers might sound like pain. They'll remind you of what you lost, what you regret, what you still wish had turned out differently. But if you stay long enough, if you breathe through the ache instead of running from it, the tone changes. The whispers become guidance. They tell you what actually matters. Silence is not empty. It's full of truth you've been too busy to hear. It's where clarity is born, where false stories dissolve, and where you finally realize that peace was never about absence of sound, but the presence of awareness. So tonight, don't fight the quiet. Let it wash over you like slow rain on old stone. Let it fall into the cracks and soften what's been hardened by noise. Don't rush to fill this. Don't rush to escape it. Just listen, because beneath the surface hum, there's a softer sound waiting. The one that says, you're still here. You made it. You're enough. Stay resting. The world will make its noise again soon enough. But not yet, not tonight. There's a quiet exhaustion that comes from always needing to be seen. It's like standing under a spotlight that never turns off. The warmth feels good for a while until you realize it's slowly burning your skin. You start adjusting your tone, your posture, your truth, not because you've changed, but because you've been trained to perform. To say what keeps the peace, to be who they'll keep around. It begins small, and a compliment here, a forced smile there. And before you know it, your peace depends on someone else's mood. That's not connection. That's captivity dressed as love. Here's the paradox. The more you chase approval, the less approval means anything. Because even when you get it, it doesn't reach the part of you that feels unseen. It only feeds the mask, not the man underneath. Approval is like perfume, pleasant for a moment, but if you wear it too long, you forget your own scent. The Stoics said, if you want to be loved, love rightly, not widely. Their point was simple. You don't need to impress everyone. You just need to stop betraying yourself for applause that fades by morning. So tonight, as you lie here in the dark, ask yourself, who would you be if no one was watching? What would you still do if it never earned you a single compliment? That's where peace hides, in the choices you make quietly, without needing an audience. And when you find that stillness, you start to notice something miraculous. Real respect doesn't come from trying to please people. It comes from living so truthfully that even silence applauds you. So breathe now. You don't need to chase another text, another good job. You're already enough, even unseen. Rest in that truth. Let the performance dissolve. The world will still turn and you will still belong. There's a strange kind of tiredness that sleep can't fix. You wake up, go through the motions, check the clock, and somehow the hours feel weightless, like smoke. Not painful, just empty. That's what life without direction feels like. You move, but you don't arrive. You breathe, but it doesn't feel like living. Purpose isn't a grand plan or a trophy on a shelf. It's the quiet reason you rise when no one's watching. It's the small fire that turns routine into meaning. I once knew a man who said, "I'm not lost. I just don't know where I'm going." He laughed when he said it, but his eyes told another story. He wasn't drowning, he was drifting. And drifting can look calm from the outside, but inside, it's just a slow forgetting of who you are. There was a time when I lived that way too, every day a copy of the one before, promising myself that tomorrow I'd start over. But tomorrow became a kind of God I prayed to, one that never answered. That's the quiet tragedy of a man without purpose. He keeps waiting for a moment that never comes, while life quietly moves past him. But here's the shift. Your purpose doesn't have to be found in thunder or applause. It can begin in something small, fixing what you can, helping who's near, creating one thing that didn't exist yesterday. Purpose grows where consistency lives. So if you've forgotten what drives you, don't chase meaning. Build rhythm. Wake up and do one thing that makes the day slightly less hollow. A clean desk, a short walk, a promise kept to yourself. These are not small acts, they are seeds. And the truth is, you don't need to find purpose. You only need to stop abandoning it every time you feel uncertain. Remember this, a man without purpose isn't weak. He's just unanchored. And even the roughest sea can't drown you if you choose a direction and keep rowing. So as you rest now, let the mind unclench. You don't need to have it all figured out tonight. You just need to whisper to yourself, I will not drift anymore. Because even in this stillness, your next chapter is quietly forming, waiting for you to wake and steer again. Comfort is quiet. It doesn't shout or demand. It simply waits for you in the same chair at the same hour, whispering, stay. You've done enough, and maybe you have. Maybe tonight you really have. But when that whisper becomes your daily prayer, something inside you begins to fall asleep long before your eyes ever close. Comfort feels safe because it asks for nothing. But that's also how it steals everything. Not all prisons have walls. Some just have soft pillows and dim lights. I once knew a man who promised he would restart his life after things calmed down. He waited for years, but nothing ever truly calms down. The world only grows louder for those who stand still. By the time he realized it, his dreams had become furniture, always around, never used. The Stoics warned of this, not the comfort of peace, but the comfort that dulls the spirit, the kind that convinces you stillness is rest, when really it's retreat. Here's the paradox: you can rest without surrendering, and you can grow without constant struggle. Growth doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers. It's found in one honest decision, one small discomfort that keeps your heart awake. You don't have to climb a mountain to reclaim your edge. You just have to stop turning away from life's smaller challenges. The early morning you keep postponing, the apology you haven't made, the idea you've left half-written. Those are the sparks that rebuild a man from within. So tonight, rest. But let it be sacred rest, not escape. Let it be the kind of stillness that gathers strength, not the kind that drains it, because life will call again soon in quiet, ordinary ways. And when it does, you'll be ready to rise, not out of guilt, but out of gratitude. The world doesn't need you to be perfect. It only needs you to stay awake to your own becoming. So breathe. Let peace fill the spaces where comfort once lived. Let your body rest without letting your spirit fade. Because somewhere in the silence, between one breath and the next, you'll remember you were never meant to stay comfortable. You were meant to stay alive. You've walked through long corridors of silence tonight, some of them heavy, some of them healing. But look at you. You stayed. You didn't turn away from the quiet, and that alone is a kind of courage most never discover. Loneliness has many faces. Sometimes it's the ache of missing someone who's still alive. Sometimes it's sitting beside people and feeling unseen. And sometimes it's simply the echo that appears when life slows down enough for truth to be heard. But in that echo, something begins to grow: awareness, strength, peace. The Stoics said that the soul becomes lighter the moment it stops begging the world to understand it. Tonight you've practiced that, not by force but by surrender. You didn't escape the silence, you befriended it. And as you lie here, let this thought settle softly into your chest. You were never incomplete. You were only distracted from yourself. The love you've been searching for, it's been quietly waiting inside, patient as the dawn, unchanging as the tide. So breathe slower now. There's nothing left to chase, nothing left to prove. You've done enough, you are enough. Let the weight of the day slide from your shoulders. Let your heart unclench its fists. Peace isn't something you need to earn. It's something you return to. If tears rise, let them. If stillness comes, welcome it. Both are signs that life is moving again, that the frozen parts of you are thawing, that the man inside is remembering his rhythm. And if you ever doubt it, look around. The same earth that has carried every sunrise still carries you. The air that kept your lungs alive this far will meet you again tomorrow. You belong here, even when it's quiet, even when no one's watching. So for now, rest. Let the silence wrap around you like a warm night. Let your thoughts drift like clouds across an open sky. Nothing to fix, nothing to hold, only to breathe and be. When you wake, don't rush. Carry this calm with you into your words, your choices, your mornings. Let it shape the way you walk, the way you look at people, the way you see yourself. Because that's what wholeness really is. Not a reward at the end of struggle, but a quiet remembering of who you already are. Rest easy, my friend. You've already made it through the hardest part. Now let the silence do the rest, and as the night deepens, let the words fade into the soft rhythm of your breath. You don't have to think anymore. You don't have to search. Just let these next reflections find you, like calm waves returning to the shore, each one carrying something you've been needing to hear. You've already walked through the silence, through the stillness, through the weight that once felt endless. Now let peace settle in. Let wisdom speak in its own time. The next voice you'll hear isn't asking you to change. It's only asking you to listen, to remember what real calm feels like. Stop right here. Don't scroll past this, because what you're about to hear may be the line between drifting through your days or finally taking command of them. You don't need to chase happiness tonight. Just listen and let your mind rest where peace begins. And if you don't lay it down each morning, you'll feel like you're running but never arriving. Tonight, there's nothing to follow, no steps to master. Just listen and let each reflection find you in its own time. Some words will meet you softly, others will wake something you forgot was still alive inside. Let them pass through you like calm wind through open windows. No effort, no resistance. This isn't about fixing anything. It's about remembering that peace was never gone. It was only waiting for you to slow down enough to hear it again. Here's the truth. Too many people wait for happiness like it's a delivery package. But joy doesn't knock on your door. It's something you build, something you choose, and when you practice it daily, it becomes unshakable. Stay with me through these 7 parts, and you won't just hear the idea, you'll feel it anchor inside you like strength you forgot you had. Think of it this way. Most people are like houses built without a foundation. They decorate the walls, they polish the windows, but the first storm shakes everything loose. Happiness is that foundation. Without it, life will test you until you collapse. With it, even the hardest winds can't move you. Today, we start building the base, not with noise or confetti, but with something solid that lasts. And by the end, you'll not only have a map, you'll have tools you can use tomorrow morning before the world even touches you. So let me ask you, before we dive into part 1, if happiness really is the ground you stand on, what kind of surface have you been walking on lately? And are you ready to rebuild it, starting today? Stop waiting for someday. How many times have you caught yourself whispering the same line, "I'll be happy when the job comes, when the weight is gone, when they finally see your worth?" We wrap our peace of mind in conditions and hang it on milestones that may never arrive. That small phrase, "someday," sounds harmless, but it's not. It's a thief. It teaches your mind one quiet rule, that joy is conditional, that you don't deserve it yet, that you have to prove yourself before you're allowed to breathe fully. And while you're waiting, life is slipping by. One morning after another, you stand in the waiting room of your own existence, staring at a door that never opens. I knew a man like this. Let's call him Daniel. He was brilliant, ambitious, the kind of person everyone thought had it figured out. First the degree, then the promotion, then the house. Every milestone came, and with each one he said, "Now I'll be happy." But each victory felt strangely hollow. By the time he had the life he thought he wanted, he had trained himself so long to delay joy that he no longer remembered how to feel it. He built a castle but forgot the sunlight. And the saddest part, no one else could give it back to him. This is the lie of someday, that happiness is a prize at the end of struggle. But joy is not a trophy, it is fuel. Without it, success tastes like dust. Without it, even love feels incomplete. When you keep postponing joy, You are living with a glass of water always just out of reach. So close you can see it, but never close enough to drink. Think about your own life. How many times have you silenced a laugh because it wasn't the right time? How many times have you skipped moments with people you love because you thought you had to earn rest? We call this discipline, but it's not. It's self-denial dressed as responsibility, and it steals years. What if the opposite is true? What if happiness isn't the end result, but the foundation? Take a slow breath and imagine that foundation under you now. Calm, steady, already enough. What if it's the spark that makes every challenge easier to face? Imagine walking into work already centered. Imagine coming home not drained but anchored. That's not fantasy. That's the shift that happens when you stop waiting. The truth is, life will never line up into perfect silence. There will always be noise, unfinished tasks, scars that haven't healed. If you keep bargaining with happiness, saying, not now, not yet, you'll look up one day and realize decades have passed and joy never arrived, because it never does on its own. So start small. Find one action today that brings you back to yourself. Play the song that wakes your spirit. Take a walk without your phone. Say no to one thing that drains you, and yes to one thing that fills you. It doesn't need to be grand, it just needs to be yours. These tiny rebellions against someday are how you take your life back. Joy isn't waiting, it's created. And the moment you decide to practice it, even in small doses, you start to feel alive again. That's the secret no one tells you. Happiness doesn't come after everything is fixed. It comes when you choose it in the middle of the mess. So before we move on, I'll leave you with this. What joy have you been postponing, convincing yourself it belongs in the future? And if not today, then when will you finally be brave enough to claim it? Discipline is the hidden engine of joy. Most people think happiness is supposed to be easy. They imagine it as sunlight breaking through the clouds, effortless, automatic. But let me tell you something few dare to admit. Happiness takes work. It takes discipline. The same way strength takes training. The same way peace takes boundaries. Look at your own life. How many hours each week do you pour into productivity? Deadlines, errands, favors you didn't want to do but said yes to anyway. You drag yourself out of bed at 5 a.m. for work, grind through exhaustion for your family, push your body to the limit just to meet expectations. And yet, when it comes to joy, you hesitate. 15 minutes of stillness, a walk outside, calling a friend, that suddenly feels selfish, unimportant, optional. Why, wow? Because we were taught discipline is only for work, never for well-being. But joy is a muscle, and like any muscle, if you don't train it, it weakens. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And that's exactly what discipline does. It frees you from being a prisoner of moods and teaches you to build joy on command. I remember a woman, Mia. She looked unbreakable from the outside. 2 jobs, kids well-fed, bills paid, everything in order. But inside, she was empty. She once confessed, "I don't even know what makes me happy anymore." That wasn't weakness. That was the cost of never training her joy, of giving everything to everyone else and nothing to herself. So let me ask you, if discipline can build muscles, why wouldn't it build joy too? Here's the paradox. You think happiness should be natural, but in a world addicted to noise, it isn't. Your brain is wired for stress, for survival, for scanning the horizon for what could go wrong. If you don't deliberately practice joy, your mind will default to chaos. That's why discipline matters. Discipline is what keeps you from falling back into the pit. Why do you schedule meetings but not laughter? Why do you set alarms for tasks but not for peace? Try this. Give yourself 15 intentional minutes a day. Just 15. Step outside and let the sun touch your skin. Put on music that moves your soul and dance in your kitchen. Sit with your coffee in silence and remind yourself, I am still here. It's not indulgence, it's maintenance. It's the oil in the engine, the thing that keeps you from breaking down on the road. Let that sink in for a moment. You don't have to do more. You just have to allow yourself to feel the quiet returning. Because here's the truth. Happiness isn't a luxury, it's fuel. And if you keep driving without it, you will burn out no matter how strong you think you are. Some days discipline will mean forcing yourself to take that walk even when you'd rather collapse. Some days it will mean putting the phone down when your mind is itching to scroll. Some days it will mean smiling at your own reflection, not because you feel like it, but because you need to remind yourself you're still capable of light. That smile is not fake, it's fuel. Happiness is not a mood you stumble into. It is a structure you build with daily effort. The more you practice, the more natural it feels, until one day joy stops being something you chase and starts being who you are. So here's my challenge for you. If you're already disciplined enough to show up for your boss, your family, your deadlines, why not show up for yourself? Why not use that same discipline to build a life that feels worth living? And as we move forward, hold this question close. What would your days look like if you gave joy the same discipline you give to everything else? Protect your mornings. Your first hour is sacred. It is the quiet forge where your entire day is shaped. Most people treat it carelessly, hitting snooze 3 times, grabbing the phone, scrolling through chaos before their feet even touch the ground. And then they wonder why the rest of the day feels heavy, scattered, out of control. But here's what most don't realize. When you first wake up, your brain is in alpha and theta states. That's a window of pure impressionability, like wet cement. Whatever you pour into it hardens into the tone of your day. If you flood it with comparison, noise, and urgency, don't be surprised when anxiety shadows you until night. If you feed it with clarity, gratitude, or even a single intentional breath, you've already set a different course. I've lived both sides. There was a time when I opened my eyes only to reach for the screen. Before I even brushed my teeth, the world had already invaded my head. Headlines of fear, images of perfection, endless notifications demanding something from me. By breakfast, my spirit was already hijacked. I wasn't leading my day, I was reacting to it. And half the time, the first thing I saw wasn't even important news. It was a cat video or someone arguing about pineapple on pizza. And yet, there went my peace. Then came the shift. I started asking one simple question before anything else. How do I want to feel today? Not what do I need to do, not what deadline is waiting, just how do I want to feel? Calm, strong, grateful, alive. That single word became the compass. When my mind tried to wander into chaos later, I came back to it. And little by little, my mornings stopped being battlefields. They became blueprints. Protecting your mornings is not about perfection. It's about ownership. It's about saying, before the world writes its script on my mind, I will write my own. So what does this look like in practice? Start small. Give yourself 60 seconds of silence before touching a screen. Breathe deeply. Choose a word. Whisper it to yourself. If you want strength, say strength. If you want peace, say peace. Let it settle like ink on fresh paper. Then let your first action align with it. Drink water slowly, open the blinds, stretch your arms toward the light, And even if this isn't morning, it's okay. Every time you slow down and choose awareness, it becomes a new beginning. This isn't self-indulgence. This is architecture. You're building the frame of your day before the world throws bricks at it. And here's a deeper truth. If you don't protect your mornings, someone else will use them. Your attention is currency, but your attention is not public property. It is private. Guard it like the lock on your front door. Joy is not found at the end of the day. Joy begins in the first hour, in the choices you make when your spirit is still soft, when your mind is still shaping. Own your mornings, own your state. So pause now and ask yourself, tomorrow morning when your eyes first open, will you hand your peace to the world, or will you claim it as your own? And before we step into the next lesson, I want to hand you a gift, something rare, a tool to rewire your mornings before the world touches you. Think of it as 4 anchors, 4 lines to speak into yourself when the day is still fresh and your mind is wide open. Say them slowly, clearly, until they stop sounding like words and start sinking into your bones. Today I lead my mind. Nothing else commands me. I rise with strength, even if I wake in shadows. No storm outside me is stronger than the calm I build within. Happiness is not waiting. I create it here, now, today. Repeat them until they feel less like affirmations and more like oxygen. Let them set the tone before noise, before doubt, before anything else gets a chance to. The Batman lesson. There's a reason Batman has lived in our culture for generations. He is not a god. He has no superhuman powers. What he has is discipline, focus, and a refusal to let pain become his prison. As a child, Bruce Wayne lost everything. That trauma could have broken him, left him bitter and powerless. And for a while it almost did. But instead of surrendering, he made a decision to shape his suffering into strength. Why does this matter for you and me? Because most of us are not waiting for capes or miracles. We are waiting for life to finally go easy. But life doesn't do easy. Life throws chaos, loss, betrayal, disappointment. And in those moments, you stand at the same crossroads Bruce Wayne did. Let your darkness consume you or forge something powerful from it. Here's the mistake many people make. They think discipline is just about productivity, just about grinding harder. But look closer. Discipline is what transforms raw pain into purpose. Without it, pain rots. With it, pain becomes fuel. Batman is not about gadgets or masks. He is about the choice to keep showing up, even when fear whispers you should quit. Think of your own nights, the silent ones when grief, anger, or regret tried to choke you. In those hours, happiness feels impossible. But what if those are the exact hours where discipline matters most? Seneca reminded us, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Batman's story proves this truth. His darkest hours became the training ground that shaped his strength. Smiling when it feels unnatural, breathing slowly when your mind races, standing tall when everything inside you wants to curl up and disappear. That isn't pretending, that is training. Training your soul the way Batman trained his body. And here's the paradox. Discipline doesn't make you less human, it makes you more. Because it allows you to hold both, the weight of your wounds and the fire of your will. Most people run from the shadows inside them, but those shadows, if faced, can become armor. Even in rest, you are allowed to heal. You don't have to fight your pain tonight. Just let it soften into understanding. It means building small rituals of resilience, waking up and moving your body even when fatigue presses us down. Choosing honesty when a lie would be easier. Saying no to the habits that numb you. Each act of discipline is a brick. And brick by brick, you construct a self that storms cannot destroy. Here's a practice for you. Tonight or tomorrow, when you feel resistance, the urge to scroll, to avoid, to delay, pause and whisper to yourself, "This is my training ground." Then do the small act anyway. Push through the first 2 minutes. So let me leave you with this. When life shows you its darkness, will you let it define you? Or will you, like Batman, turn it into the very thing that protects you? Happiness in hard times. There are mornings when happiness feels like a stranger. Not because you don't want it, but because life has weighed so heavy on your chest that even breathing feels like work. You open your eyes and the ache is already there. The loss you can't undo, the stress that never lets up, the disappointment that clings like smoke. And in those moments, joy doesn't feel like a choice, it feels impossible. But here's the radical truth. Those days are when happiness matters most. Because it's easy to smile when life is light. The real test is whether you can still reach for a spark when the room feels dark. I knew a woman once, let's call her Sarah. She was bright, always lifting until life blindsided her with a divorce and the sudden loss of her father. For months, she disappeared into silence. Yet every morning she forced herself to do one thing, just one. A glass of water, a short walk, a journal line. Some days it felt pointless. But over time, those pointless sessions became the bridge back to herself. They didn't erase the grief, but they proved something greater. That she could still move, still breathe, still live. Sometimes peace doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives like this, quiet and gentle, reminding you that you're still becoming. That is the lesson. When happiness feels farthest, it doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to be something. One step, one breath, one gesture of defiance against despair. Science even backs this up. Psychologists call it behavioral activation. The idea that even small, positive actions can shift brain chemistry, nudging the mind toward healing. In other words, you don't wait to feel better before acting. You act, and slowly, you begin to feel better. So what does this mean for you? It means courage on hard days isn't about pretending everything's kind. It's about choosing one thing. Drinking water, standing in sunlight, sending a text to someone who cares, writing down 3 words of gratitude, even if they feel hollow. That one act is not weakness, it's rebellion. It's proof you are not staying down. And here's the paradox. You can hold both. You can grieve and still reach for peace. You can be tired and still move toward light. You can feel broken and still practice joy. Life is not either or, it's both and. That's what makes you human, and that's what makes you strong. So on those mornings when happiness feels unreachable, don't wait for a miracle. Create a spark. Let the spark remind you that you're still here, still capable, still becoming. Ask yourself now, when the weight presses hardest, what is the one small act you can choose? Not to fix everything, but to prove you haven't given up. If you've ever had a season like this, let me know below. Your story might be the encouragement someone else desperately needs today. Stop feeding the enemies of joy. Most people imagine their happiness gets stolen in dramatic ways, by tragedy, betrayal, or loss. But in reality, joy usually dies slowly, drained by small, invisible enemies you keep feeding every single day. The first enemy is comparison. You wake up, reach for your phone, and before your feet even touch the ground, you're already measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. Their smile, their success, their staged perfection. Even if you know it's curated, your gut whispers, you're behind. And just like that, the joy you had shrinks. Then comes doom scrolling. You're not even comparing anymore, just looking for distraction. But what floods in? Panic, outrage, endless noise, and the first hour of your day poisoned with someone else's chaos. And let's be honest, half the time it's not even world news stealing your peace. It's a meme about cats and sunglasses or some stranger arguing about pizza toppings. And yet, somehow, there goes your mood. Another thief is guilt, the quiet voice telling you rest is laziness, that you're never doing enough, that joy has to be earned. So you overwork, overpromise, oversacrifice, and still never feel worthy of peace. Overthinking joins the attack. It masquerades as intelligence, but it's really just replaying old conversations and rehearsing disasters that may never come. The more you think, the less you feel. And without feeling, joy has no soil to grow in. And finally, neglect. Not dramatic, just quiet self-betrayals, skipping meals, pushing through exhaustion, ignoring your body, saying yes when your soul is screaming no. Over time, neglect sends the cruelest message. You don't matter. And nothing kills happiness faster than believing that lie. Here's a new way to see it. Your mind is a garden. Joy is the flower. The enemies, they're weeds. Comparison, guilt, overthinking, neglect. Every time you feed them, they spread. You don't need to fight them now. Just watch them pass like clouds across your sky. Every time you starve them, your joy gets space to breathe. The garden doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs you to guard it. So how do you fight back? Start small. Protect your mornings. Don't let comparison be the first voice you hear. Set boundaries. Say no to the people, apps, or routines that drain you. And above all, notice. The simple act of naming your enemy already weakens its grip. Because here's the truth. If you don't protect your happiness, the world will spend it for you. Piece by piece, notification by notification. Until one day you look up and realize you have been robbed, not by force, but by habit. The gratitude habit. Gratitude doesn't belong to just one moment of your day. If you lock it into a quick morning ritual, you'll miss its real power. Gratitude is not a single spark. It's the thread that can weave strength through every hour you live. I used to think gratitude was only for mornings. 3 breaths, 3 thanks, then get on with the grind. But life doesn't only test you in the morning, does it? Stress shows up at noon, arguments arrive at night, loneliness sneaks in at unexpected hours. If gratitude doesn't travel with you, the noise of life will swallow it before lunch. So I began to practice gratitude at 3 checkpoints. Morning to set my tone, midday to reset my focus, evening to release the weight before I sleep. At noon, when I was buried in tasks at the workshop, I'd pause 10 seconds, look at my rough hands, and whisper, "Thank you that these hands can still create." At night, before I collapsed into bed, I'd remember one simple detail, like the way the sun hit the wood that afternoon, and I'd let that be enough. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive." But if he were alive today, I believe he'd tell us the same at midday, at dusk, at every chance we get. Because gratitude isn't tied to clocks. It's tied to awareness. And here's the paradox. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it prevents pain from owning you. When you're grateful, you still feel the storm, but you're no longer drowning. You're anchored. So try this. 3 checkpoints. When you wake, name 3 small things. At lunch, stop for 10 seconds and notice one gift hiding in plain sight. At night, write down one thing that kept you going, no matter how small. Do it until it stops feeling like an exercise and starts feeling like oxygen. Because gratitude is not a performance. It's not pretending life is perfect. It's choosing again and again to notice that even in chaos, something is still holding you. And when you notice it, you grow roots that storms cannot pull out. Let that awareness stay with you, not as effort, but as ease. You are safe and you are enough. So I'll ask you this. Tomorrow, when stress hits you at noon or silence greets you at midnight, will you let the moment consume you, or will you pause, breathe, and say thank you? We've moved through quiet lessons tonight about breaking the lie of someday, guarding your mornings, finding strength in shadows, and practicing gratitude like a daily discipline. None of these lessons are about pretending life is easy. They are about remembering this truth. You are never powerless. You always have a choice. The world will tell you to wait. Wait until the storm passes. Wait until someone saves you. Wait until you feel ready. But waiting is the slowest form of surrender. Life doesn't wait, and happiness doesn't wait. Every sunrise is asking you one question. What will you choose today? Remember, no storm outside you is stronger than the calm you can build within. No failure, no betrayal, no delay has the right to steal your inner authority unless you hand it over. And handing it over is no longer an option for you. Not after hearing this. I know some of you are listening with heavy hearts, carrying weights no one else sees. And maybe you're thinking, it's not that simple. You were right, it's not easy. But simple doesn't mean easy. It means possible. And possible is enough to begin. You don't need to begin with force. Beginning can simply mean breathing again. Wake up and whisper strength into your soul. Walk outside even if the sky is gray. Say no to what drains you. Say yes to what breathes life back into you. That's not selfish. That's survival. That's sovereignty. And here's what I promise you. If you do this, if you practice it not once but daily, you'll look back one day and realize happiness was never something you were chasing. It was something you were building, brick by brick, thought by thought, morning by morning. This is not the end of the journey. This is the invitation. An invitation to stop living as a victim of moods, mistakes, and moments, and start living as the builder of your own state, your own peace, your own fire. So I leave you with this question, the one that will decide everything. Tomorrow morning, when your eyes first open, will you surrender to the noise, or will you rise and claim the day as yours? The choice is always yours, and the time is not someday. It is now. You're safe here. Breathe in and out. As the body softens, the mind clears. Now let's gently quiet the mind. You, yes, you, the man hiding a storm behind a steady face, the woman smiling while her mind is on fire at night. Don't look away. This is for you. Because I know what it feels like when your thoughts turn into enemies, when silence is louder than any scream. You don't have to solve anything now. Let the words move like calm water while your body grows heavier and safe. It can turn a friendship into silence, a love into distance, simply because you let your mind run wild with dark stories that never happened. Now picture this. Your mind is a harbor at night. Ships keep arriving, some carrying gold, others poison. Most people grab the first cargo without checking what's inside, and then they wonder why they feel sick. But you are not the dock worker. You are the harbor master. You decide what unloads and what gets turned away. For now, simply watch the ships drift. No ship has to dock unless you allow it. Stay with me. Somewhere deeper in this video, there's a hidden gift. And An insight so reversed it can flip the way you see your past forever. It won't come early. You'll need to walk with me until it arrives. But when it does, it will feel like opening a locked window in a room you thought had no air. If you could finally guard the harbor of your mind tonight, what is the first ship you would refuse to let dock? It may sound strange because we've grown up believing the voice in our head is who we are. But if every thought defined you, you'd be chaos walking. Jealous in one breath, confident in the next, defeated 5 minutes later. Thoughts drift like clouds. You remain the sky. The real danger comes when we treat every thought as a command. One whisper, I'm failing, I'm unloved, I'll never catch up. And suddenly it bleeds into our conversations, our relationships, even the way we sleep at night. Negative thinking can make your hair turn gray and carve new lines on your face after just one restless night. It can twist a friendship into silence, a relationship into distance, simply because you believe the darkest version of an innocent pause. And when my mind starts spinning endless scenarios, painting failure before I even begin, turning a simple step into a tangled mess, I remember the mantra my mentor Kai gave me. Just do it. Don't overthink. Label thoughts, don't own them. Instead of I'm worthless, say I'm having a thought that I'm worthless. That one shift creates distance. A thought unlabeled is a dictator. A thought labeled is just background noise. You don't have to obey it. If a thought appears, name it softly. I'm having a thought about. Then lengthen the exhale and let it pass. A Stoic once said, it is not events themselves that trouble us, but our opinions of them. For now, there is nothing to fix. The sky does not follow the clouds. It lets them drift. Your mind is like a stage. Strange characters walk in. A clown juggling worries. A villain screaming despair. If you mistake each character for yourself, your life turns into a chaotic play. But here's the truth. You're not the actors. You're the director. You decide who gets the spotlight and who exits the stage. And never forget this. The sky never apologizes for a passing storm. Clouds roar, lightning strikes, yet the sky remains untouched. That's you. Thoughts are visitors. Some are welcome, some are not. Let them pass. You are not the storm. You are the sky, and the sky does not break. The mind has a cruel habit. It keeps shouting, this shouldn't have happened. A breakup, a failure, a betrayal. We replay it like a broken song, hoping the ending will magically change. But every time we hit rewind, the cut only goes deeper. Negative thinking thrives on this loop. You don't just suffer once. You suffer again and again in memory. It's like renting out your living room to the past and watching it trash your furniture night after night. Think of this everyday scene. You drop your phone, the screen cracks. What's the first thought? Why did this happen? If only I had held it tighter. You stare at the crack as if staring could undo it. The phone is broken either way, but your mind is still arguing with gravity. That's how most of us live, debating with events that have already stamped their ticket. If crying at the rain could stop it, we'd all be professional weather controllers by now. But no amount of sulking has ever dried a storm. Here's the practice. When your mind says, this shouldn't have happened, answer with one line, it did happen. So now what? That short sentence flips the power. Repeat silently. It did happen. And now gently we turn toward what's next. Then let the shoulders soften. Instead of being the victim of the page already written, you become the author of the next one. One of the Stoics put it simply, do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go well. That doesn't mean you have to enjoy pain. It means you stop wasting energy fighting history. Think of life like a book. Yesterday's page is inked. No eraser can touch it. But today's page is still blank. Will you leave it empty because you're staring at the smudges behind you? Or will you pick up the pen and keep writing? Remember this: peace doesn't come from a perfect past. It comes from accepting what is and still choosing what's next. Say it with me. It did happen. So now what? That's how you stop yesterday from stealing tomorrow. Most people make the same mistake. They treat their first emotion as final truth. Anger explodes, fear shakes them, jealousy claws at their chest, and they bow down as if the feeling were a command. But the first emotion is not wisdom. It is a flare. It burns hot, then it fades. Think of this everyday scene. You walk into the office and a colleague doesn't say good morning. The first emotion whispers, "They're mad at me." An hour later, you've convinced yourself you're about to be fired. Then you finally find out they were just rushing to the bathroom. All that stress, all that storytelling, because you obeyed the first flare of emotion. If every first emotion was accurate, every driver who cut you off would secretly be your lifelong enemy. Imagine how big your enemy list would be by Friday. Here's the practice. When a strong emotion hits, pause. Choose a tiny anchor. Touch thumb to finger, relax the jaw, lower the shoulders. Whisper, "I feel it, and I can wait." 3 breaths are enough for the wave to pass. Name it without fusing with it. Say, "I feel anger, but that doesn't mean I am right. I feel fear, but that doesn't mean I am in danger." Then give it time. 20 minutes, 1 hour, 1 night. You'll be shocked how different the world looks after the flare cools. That's the difference between a fighter who reacts and a fighter who endures. I've been guilty of this myself. Once Elena came home late, and my first emotion whispered, "She must be tired of me." The truth, she was stuck in traffic. My jealousy wrote a whole drama in my head, while reality was just brake lights on the freeway. A Stoic emperor once reminded himself, the first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second, to look at things for what they are. He ruled millions, yet still had to whisper that reminder to himself. If he needed it, so do we. So tonight, give yourself permission to delay. Choose one physical anchor. Touch thumb to finger, unclench your jaw, or lower your shoulders. Every time the flare rises, use the anchor. Then wait. Let the wave pass before you move. Remember this, the first emotion is loud, but it is not law. Wisdom begins when you don't bow to the first flare. That pause might just save your career, your relationship, even your peace. Most of the time, it isn't the situation that breaks you. It's the meaning your mind attaches to it. You get rejected and suddenly the story becomes, "No one will ever love me." You make one mistake at work and it becomes, "I'm a failure. I'm not capable." The event is simple, but the story makes it heavy. Here's an everyday scene. You walk into a store, try on a jacket, and the salesperson doesn't say a word. The fact is simple. They stayed silent. But your mind takes over. It must look terrible on me. Everyone in the shop is judging. I'll never pull off this style. By the time you put the jacket back, you've convinced yourself you're unattractive. Later, you realize the salesperson was just tired after a long shift. The storm never existed, except in the story you told yourself. I've done this myself. Years ago, Mara walked away when I was at my lowest point. The event didn't change, but the meaning did. And when the meaning changed, the pain lost its power. If you're lying down, try this. Inhale and silently say fact. Exhale and release the story. If stories were always true, then every friend who didn't laugh at your jokes secretly hated you. If that were reality, we'd all be friendless hermits. Here's the practice. Take a piece of paper and draw two columns, fact versus story. In the fact column, write only what a camera would record. In the story column, write the meaning your mind added. Then edit. Cross out the verdicts, strip away the adjectives. Read it again. The fact is light, the story is heavy. You'll feel the difference. A Stoic once said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your opinion about it." 2,000 years later, nothing has changed. So remember this, the past is static, but your pain is editable. You cannot erase the picture, but you can change the filter. Tonight, choose a better one because you are not the story your mind invents. You are the author who decides what goes to print. You know what I realized? My desk looked like a crime scene, coffee cups, old receipts, a mountain of papers. And every time I sat down, my brain felt just as messy. Don't laugh, you've probably got that one chair at home covered in clothes too. We all do. And that's the point. Chaos outside always leaks into chaos inside them. Your mind is not just shaped by your thoughts, it is fed by your environment. And tonight, try one gentle reset. Put the device down one song earlier than usual, or clear one small surface. Quiet helps the mind settle. And what you feed it will eventually show in your voice, your choices, and your peace. If you surround yourself with noise, drama, gossip, and endless scrolling, don't be surprised when your inner world feels like a crowded marketplace. Think of this. You wake up and the first thing you see is a feed of arguments, polished lives, and bad news. Before you've had water, you've already swallowed envy, fear, and distraction. By noon, you're tired without lifting a hand. It wasn't your work that drained you, it was your inputs. I once visited a carpenter who kept his workshop startlingly simple. One tool on the bench, one quiet song playing, nothing else. He told me, "Order outside gives me order inside." His work carried a calm glow because his mornings did too. That day, I realized how much chaos I had been letting in without noticing. Sometimes cleaning your desk is the cheapest therapy session you'll ever have. Here's the practice. Try a 7-day input reset. For 1 week, cut gossip. Stop doom scrolling. Small edits, but powerful. The Stoics lived this way. Simplicity, clean surroundings, meaningful company. They knew that if you keep standing in the mud, your mind cannot stay clean. So ask yourself tonight, who are the voices planting seeds in your mind? Which voices deserve a seat at your table, and which ones have overstayed their welcome? Remember this, you cannot kill negative thoughts while feeding them every day. Calm doesn't grow in clutter. Protect your inputs, and you protect your peace. There are nights when your thoughts feel heavier than your body, when every small problem looks like a mountain. In those moments, it's easy to whisper, "Something is wrong with me." But often the truth is simpler. You're not broken, you're exhausted. When the body runs on empty, the mind distorts everything. If the weight remains, try very small movements, slow shoulder rolls, gentle wrist circles, or a quiet hum. 2 calm minutes help the nervous system downshift. A late reply feels like rejection. A small challenge feels like failure. Even your reflection looks harsher. Fatigue has a way of painting your whole world in darker shades. Listen to me, you are not weak. You are simply drained. Stop calling yourself broken when all you need is rest. I learned this the hard way. There was a time I kept pushing myself, calls, deadlines, endless noise, until my mind became a storm I couldn't quiet. Elena noticed my restlessness. She turned on a song and pulled me into the middle of the room. We began to dance, not perfect steps, just movement, just laughter. And suddenly, I forgot the very reason I had been troubled. The problems were still there, but in that moment, they had no power over me anymore. You've felt this too. Think of the nights you argued with yourself until 2 a.m., convinced your life was falling apart. And then, after a few hours of real sleep, you woke up wondering why it all seemed so catastrophic the night before. The problem wasn't solved. It was simply that rest gave your mind back its balance. Here's a practice that might surprise you. When the heaviness won't leave, don't just sit there overthinking. Put on a song with energy, stand up, and move. At first it feels silly, but within minutes you'll notice the shift. The negative energy leaks out, your chest opens, and suddenly the weight is lighter. Sometimes what your nervous system needs isn't another thought, it's release. The Stoics knew that even the mind requires physical anchors. They valued stillness, but they also walked, trained, breathed deeply. They understood that when the body resets, the spirit follows. So the next time your mind screams that you're failing, don't rush to believe it. Ask first, am I broken or just tired? If tired, rest is wisdom. Remember this, exhaustion is not who you are. It doesn't define you. It only asks you to pause, refill, and let your body set your mind free. You are not broken. You are simply waiting to be restored. Negativity grows in the soil of forgetfulness. When you forget your blessings, your victories, your survival stories, you fall into the lie that life is nothing but pain. If you're still watching, hear this. Gratitude is not soft, it is not cliche. Gratitude is war, and it might be the very weapon you have been ignoring. When your mind is stuck in negativity, it narrows your vision. Nothing works. Everyone is better. The world is unfair. But the moment you count what is still here, the tunnel opens. I once met a nurse finishing a night shift. She looked exhausted. Her shoulders slumped. Yet before leaving, she opened a notebook and wrote 3 simple lines. A warm meal, my daughter's laugh, a kind patient today. Her face softened. Nothing in her circumstances changed, but her spirit shifted. And maybe you've done something like this without even noticing. That moment when you sip hot coffee on a cold morning and whisper, "This is good." Or when you sit in traffic but catch your favorite song on the radio and suddenly the weight doesn't feel so heavy. Gratitude often hides in these tiny pauses. The ones so ordinary we forget they're sacred. That is the quiet power of gratitude. It doesn't erase struggle, but it balances the scale. Before sleep, just think of 3 anchors, 1 person, 1 strength, 1 small opportunity. No need to write, only breathe and soften. I've lived this too. In my darkest nights, when I thought everything had abandoned me, I asked myself, what is left? And the answers, though small, became anchors. A friend who still called, a bed to return to, the chance to try again tomorrow. Each anchor pulled me back from drowning. They don't need to be grand. Even a cup of coffee, the fact you made it through the day, or a small lesson counts. When your eyes see the list, your mind remembers that not all is lost. The Stoics reminded us that wealth is not having more, but wanting less. When you practice gratitude, you are no longer poor in spirit. You are rich with awareness. So the next time negativity surrounds you, do not fight it with more force. Name what stayed, count what remains, hold it close. Gratitude is not pretending life is perfect. It is remembering that even in imperfection, there is enough to keep going. Remember this, gratitude is your armor. When the world feels sharp, it softens the blade. When your mind feels weak, it plants strength in your chest. And when the storm arrives, it anchors you to what cannot be taken. You've walked through quiet moves that loosen the grip of negative thinking. You've seen how thoughts are not you, how yesterday cannot be rewritten, how the first flare of emotion is not wisdom, how stories twist facts, how your surroundings feed your mind, how tiredness is not brokenness, and how gratitude can turn weakness into armor. This journey is not about perfection. You will still have days when the voice inside insists you're not enough. But now you know, you are the one who decides which thought stays, which story ends, and which seed you water. I've lived these lessons in my own storms, nights lost to overthinking, mornings drowned in shame, but also evenings saved by a single laugh, or by writing down what still remains. Peace isn't found once, it's built daily in small acts of clarity. So hold this truth: storms will come, voices will rise, doubt will whisper, yet you are not helpless. Calm is your advantage, gratitude is your shield, and your mind, when you choose to steady it, is your strongest weapon. Storms will pass. For now, let calm be your advantage. If thoughts return, greet them kindly and let them drift. Your breath knows the way back. Here's a twist. The storm you fear is not outside. It has always been inside, which also means the power to end it has always been inside too. Stay resting. In a moment, we'll move on. Softly. You're doing well. Let this next chapter remind you how to rebuild, not rush. Breathe and stay soft. Tomorrow I'll do it. Sounds familiar? That sentence is like a train ticket with no departure date. You clutch it in your hand, believing one day the journey will begin. But train after train leaves the station, and you remain standing on the cold platform of waiting. It erodes your chances drop by drop, like water carving stone. Be honest with yourself. At work, you let your ideas die in silence. At home, you swallow the words you needed to say. In society, you step aside and watch others walk through doors that should have been yours. Not because you're less capable, but because you never acted as the strongest person in your own life. The Stoics knew this truth. The perfect moment never comes. Fear never disappears. The world doesn't stop so you can get ready. What you need is one principle today: to act as if you are already the best version of yourself. The journey begins when you stop waiting for permission, and that can happen right here in stillness. You've probably heard this voice before. Wait until the timing is right. It disguises itself as wisdom, but it's really hesitation wearing a suit. The truth? These decisions shape destinies long before applause ever arrives. Every crown in history was worn first in the mind before it touched the head. That is the power of decision, not applause, not luck, not timing. Decision. Think about the last time you stayed silent when you should have spoken. The meeting dragged on, the air so heavy you could hear the clock breathing. Your idea was burning inside you, but you let the silence harden. Then someone else cleared their throat, spoke the words you'd been holding, and the boss nodded as if the room had shifted in their favor. That nod should have been yours, but hesitation stole it. I once hesitated so long that silence became heavier than fear itself. And when I finally spoke, peace followed, not judgment. That's the price of waiting. When your moment finally arrives, it often arrives awkward. Or picture this. You stand at the entrance of a networking event, the carpet buzzing with voices. Just a few steps away is the person who could open a door for your career. 10 steps, that's all. You rehearse the words in your mind. Hi, I've admired your work for years. But your feet betray you. They freeze. rooted in invisible cement, and then, like smoke, the moment slips through your fingers. Here's the truth. Hesitation is not harmless. It is erosion. It's like standing in the ocean, waves washing away the sand beneath your feet. At first, you think you're safe, standing still. Then you realize you're sinking, inch by inch, until you vanish. Once you dare to speak, the world doesn't collapse. No lightning strikes. Often people lean in closer, grateful someone broke the silence. That relief, that lightness, it belongs to the one who decided. The Stoics warned us, do not wait for perfect conditions. One of them wrote, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. The order is everything. Decide first, act next. Only then comes recognition. If you're listening while resting, let that line settle in your body. Decide first. Breathe next. The rest will follow. So here's what's your practice. Tomorrow, choose one moment where you will act first, before doubt has time to sit down. Speak your idea, make the call, shake the hand. Do not wait for confidence to arrive. Let decision drag confidence behind it, because the world only respects those who respect their own choices. Decide like the best, and now ask yourself, what has hesitation already cost you? And how much longer are you willing to keep paying that price? There's a difference between entering a room and needing everyone to notice you, and entering a room and everyone noticing anyway. That difference is confidence without arrogance. Picture a dinner with friends. One person dominates the table, voice rising above the clatter of cutlery. They're desperate to be heard, so every story grows louder, longer, more exaggerated. That's arrogance, volume without depth. Now think of someone else you've met. They walked in quietly, sat down, listened first. When they finally spoke, the whole table leaned in. Their calm made space for others, but their presence carried weight. That's confidence. And the difference is magnetic, I'll be honest. There was a time I mistook force for confidence. I walked into a gathering and tried to fill every silence, my words spilling faster and louder than they needed to. I thought energy meant strength. Here's the contrarian truth. Real confidence is not noise, it's restraint. It's the courage to let silence work for you too. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote daily reminders not to think too highly of himself. Even though he ruled millions, he practiced authority that was calm, steady, and humble. So here's your practice. This week, in every room you enter, slow down. Speak one sentence less than you want to. Even now, notice your breath slowing. Confidence begins there, in stillness, not noise. Lower your tone by half. And notice your presence expands, not shrinks. People lean in because you're not trying to prove, you're simply being. Because arrogance shouts, but true confidence whispers and still gets heard. Stand like the best. Now ask yourself, when you walk into your next room, will people remember the noise you made or the calm you carried? Most people wait for belief to arrive before they act. They think, once I feel confident, then I'll move. But the order is backwards. Confidence is not the ticket that gets you on stage. It's the applause that comes after you've already walked out. Imagine an empty theater. The curtain hasn't even risen, yet the actor is already pacing behind it, heart pounding, palms sweaty. Do they feel confident? Number. But the moment they step under the lights, their body begins to catch up with their choice. That's how belief is built, in motion, not in waiting. I remember once standing in front of a crowded hall, hands trembling so badly I almost dropped the paper I was holding. My mind screamed, "You're not ready." But I opened my mouth anyway, The words stumbled at first, but something shifted. The audience leaned in, and suddenly my fear was working for me, sharpening my focus. That's when I learned, belief grows legs only after you start walking. Fear looked ridiculous, but fear didn't win. I did. Here's the twist. Hesitation feels logical, but it's actually a trap. You don't wait until you feel like the best. You act as if you already are, and the feeling follows. The Stoics taught that our actions shape our thoughts, not the other way around. So practice this. The next time you face a moment that scares you, a meeting, a conversation, a challenge, step first, think later. Let your body lead your mind. Act before you believe. Move like the best. And now ask yourself, what dream of yours has been waiting for some day, when in truth it has been begging for you to step forward today? I told you part 3 would hold something unique. This is your gift. When fear tries to freeze you, don't argue with it. Answer it. 3 lines, sharp, simple, unshakable. I move before I'm ready. Step forward as you breathe out. My fear is fire and it fuels me. Feel the heat in your chest. Let it burn upward. Right now, fear bows when I move. Stand taller as you say it. Say them once. Feel your breath and act. It's not magic, it's muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger it grows. Now let your body rest again. The lesson is already learned by your breath. Success is not a chair you sit in forever. It's a treadmill. You stop moving and you fall. The danger is not failure. The real danger is comfort disguised as victory. I once walked into a friend's office and saw a dusty trophy sitting on a shelf. He said, "That was my big win 10 years ago." He smiled at the trophy, unaware it was only holding yesterday's air. Growth doesn't celebrate what you did. Growth demands what you'll do next. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, reminded himself every morning that each day was a fresh chance to practice virtue, not to rest on power. If the ruler of the world could see life as training, what excuse do we have to stop? I once told myself I had arrived after closing a deal. That night I celebrated like a king, ate too much, bragged too loud. The next morning I woke up hungover, inbox full, and realized success doesn't pause the bills. Comfort had tricked me into believing the game was over. The contrarian truth is this: stagnation is louder than failure. If you're resting now, let this rest renew you, not replace your growth. Failure at least moves you, teaches you, forces you to adjust. Stagnation whispers, "You're fine," while quietly burying you alive. So here's your practice. Each day, pick one micro upgrade. Read a page you wouldn't have read. Do one push-up after you think you're done. Send one message of gratitude. Small, yes, but consistent drops carve rivers through stone. Because excellence is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every single day. Stillness is sacred, but comfort is different. Stillness restores you. Comfort removes your edge. Train like the best. Now ask yourself, are you polishing old trophies or earning new ones today? Strength is easy to admire. Weakness is harder because it reveals what we would rather hide. But here's the paradox. The parts of you that embarrass you the most can become the very places you grow the fastest. I once let frustration rise higher than wisdom. But in that silence after, I heard what strength truly sounds like. Gentleness. It's almost funny because when I tried to act as if nothing happened, a quiet voice inside me asked, "If you pretend your cracks don't exist, how can the light ever enter?" The question cut deeper than my own guilt. I realize that facing the places I fall short is the doorway to becoming better. Stay with me here. This one may sting, but it will free you. The truth is this: ignoring weakness doesn't erase it. It grows in the dark, twisting, demanding more of you later. But when you face it, name it, and train it, weakness turns into discipline. Anger becomes patience. Fear becomes courage. Laziness becomes strategy. The Stoics reminded us, power is not in pretending to be flawless, but in mastering the places you stumble. Seneca wrote that setbacks are our greatest tutors. They reveal where we need to strengthen the muscle of virtue. So here's your practice. Tonight, write down one weakness you have been running from. If you're lying down, you can skip the writing. Just name one thing softly in your mind and let breath surround it with kindness. Don't fight it, don't disguise it, just name it. Then ask, how can this become my training ground? The act of naming already begins the transformation, because real confidence doesn't come from hiding your flaws. It comes from training them until they serve you. Your flaws don't own you. You own them. And now ask yourself, what weakness in your life is waiting to stop being your shame and start being your coach? And once you've wrestled with your flaws, the next test is this: how your strength affects others. You can spot real strength by what happens to the people around it. Some men grow taller only by making the others shrink. But the ones who truly carry power, they rise. And their rising creates space for everyone else to stand taller too. Think about the energy of a room. One person walks in restless and sharp, and suddenly everyone feels on edge. Another walks in steady and calm, and without saying a word, the whole room exhales. Presence multiplies. That is the ripple effect. I remember one afternoon in my neighborhood when the electricity cut out. People stood outside their houses frustrated, complaining. Then an old man brought out a small lamp and placed it in the middle of the street. Children gathered, neighbors drifted closer. One lamp didn't fix the blackout, but it shifted the atmosphere. Sometimes the smallest light is enough to gather people into courage again. I once thought leading others meant long speeches and big advice. But Kai laughed and said, leadership is simple. If you drink water calmly, others remember they are thirsty too. He was right. Influence is less about telling, more about showing. Here's the reversal. Life isn't a competition for respect. The more you give, the more you gain. The Stoics called it sympathia, the deep connection we all share. When you lift your standard, you invite others to lift theirs. So try this practice. This week, choose one space, home, work, or anywhere you gather. Before you speak, ask, what tone do I want this room to carry? Then act in a way that sets it. For now, let this space, wherever you are, become calm through you. Calm if it's case, warmth if it's cold, clarity if it's confused. Most people see failure as a gravestone. The Stoics saw it as raw material. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacle is not the end of the path, it is the path. Even this pause, this rest is part of your training. Recovery is not weakness, it's integration. Think about the last time something collapsed in your hands. The deal you thought was certain vanished overnight. The relationship you invested in cracked under pressure. The plan you drew carefully fell apart in minutes. Your first instinct was probably shame. You lowered your head, hoping nobody noticed. But failure is not shame. Failure is feedback. I remember a business idea I launched years ago. I poured months of work into it, but it collapsed so quickly it felt like sand slipping through my fingers. For a while, I walked around heavy with embarrassment. Then one night, the thought arrived on its own. Maybe this wasn't the end at all, but the lesson I had been avoiding when life was easy, and just like that, clarity returned. Here's the truth. Comfort feeds ego, but failure feeds growth. Failure burns away illusions and shows you where you are weak, where you need to train. And every time you rise again, you rise stronger, sharper, harder to break. So here's your practice. Write down your 3 latest failures. For each one, answer a single question. What skill or lesson did this pain just purchase for me? Do this honestly, and you'll find that failure is not loss. It's tuition. The ones who act as if they are the best don't avoid failure. They turn it into fuel. Fall, rise, repeat. That's unbreakable. And now ask yourself, when the next wall blocks your path, will you see it as the end or as the stone you'll step on to climb higher? Another passage closes. Another door within you opens. Acting as if you are the best is not arrogance. It is alignment. You've seen it now. Decision before applause, confidence without noise, action before belief, growth before comfort, weakness as your teacher, lifting others as you rise, and failure as your fuel. Every part points to the same practice. Stop waiting for permission. Stop rehearsing tomorrow. Step into the role today. The Stoics reminded us life is short and every dawn is a gift. Marcus Aurelius wrote that when you wake up in the morning, remember what a privilege it is to breathe, to think, to love. Wherever you are, let this breath be that privilege. Nothing to prove, nothing to chase, just peace returning. So here's how you end this day and begin the next. Because the world doesn't change when you wait. The world changes when you carry yourself as the best version of you again and again, until it's no longer an act. It's who you are. The rebuilding is already happening within you. Stay resting. You are safe here. Let the next reflection arrive like quiet dawn. You've rebuilt the inner foundation. Now let the next practice arrive softly, like morning light returning after long rain. It's 3 a.m. again. The city sleeps, but your mind won't. Even if it isn't night where you are, you'll understand this feeling. The mind that won't rest when the body tries to. Sometimes stillness feels impossible. You're awake, yet your heart keeps searching for a place to land. It's not weakness, it's weight. The weight of noise, of demands, of routines that eat your hours without feeding your soul. Here's the contrarian truth. Reinvention isn't about adding more. It's about stripping away what never belonged. Think of a sculptor staring at marble. The masterpiece isn't added, it's uncovered by subtraction. You are the marble, waiting for the chisel. And the blows don't have to be violent. They can be small, precise, repeated cuts. That's how mountains erode, how rivers carve valleys, how ordinary people become unrecognizable even to themselves. This video is built in 6 parts, each one small enough to act on immediately, powerful enough to shift the way you carry yourself. And somewhere in the middle, there's something special waiting, a gift, a phrase so sharp and simple, it can armor you the next time life drags you into chaos. So before we begin, let me ask you directly, if nothing outside of you changed for the next 30 days, could you still change? If that question stirred something, just breathe with it. You don't need to act. Reflection itself is movement. Your day doesn't begin when the alarm rings. It begins the moment you decide who commands your first thought. Most people surrender instantly, scrolling, reacting, drowning before they have even stood up. You don't have to. Sit at the edge of your bed for 2 minutes, that's all. Or wherever you are right now, a chair, a quiet space, even while lying down. this moment will still work. No performance, no incense, no posture to impress anyone. Just sit. Let your thoughts drift through like strangers in a crowded station. You don't chase them, you don't fight them. You watch them pass, knowing not every traveler deserves a ticket into your day. This is not about clearing your mind, it's about refusing to be kidnapped by it. The Stoics called it presence of attention, owning the gap between thought and meaning. In those 2 minutes, you train your nervous system to separate noise from direction. That's the first muscle of freedom. You're not kidnapped by thoughts, you're the one holding the keys. I once sat in a hotel lobby watching a man polish the same brass railing for nearly an hour. Guests rushed by, impatient. He moved slowly, deliberately, until the metal glowed. That's what this reset does. It polishes the surface before the world leaves its fingerprints on you. Try it tomorrow. 2 minutes before your phone, before your teeth, before your coffee. Notice the cloud of worries. Notice the echo of last night's arguments. Notice the tiny sparks of anticipation. Label them lightly, then let them pass. By week's end, you'll see the same patterns circling, but instead of being dragged, you'll be watching from higher ground. When the day throws its weight at you, you'll recall that morning pause. You'll know this is just another thought passing through, not a command, and suddenly choice returns. As you listen now, simply remember, you are not carried by thoughts. You're the quiet watcher beneath them. Gratitude is easy to fake. Most people rattle off the same tired lines. Family, health, roof over my head. The words are true but empty. Here's the contrarian truth. Most gratitude practices fail because they repeat the obvious. Real gratitude lives in the overlooked detail. My first gratitude journal looked like a broken record. Family, health, Wi-Fi. Even I got bored of myself. The brain tunes out repetition the way your ears stop hearing background music in a store. Real gratitude is not volume, it's precision. Today, I want you to hunt for one overlooked victory, not the obvious, something so small you'd usually step over it. The bus that arrived just as you reached the stop. The email you expected to drag you down but turned out lighter than you feared. The barista who remembered your name without asking. One detail, nothing more. Then trace its hidden chain. That coffee? A farmer woke before dawn halfway across the world. Someone roasted the beans, packed them, shipped them, stocked them, pressed the button at the machine, and all of it converged in the moment the cup touched your hand. Suddenly, what seemed ordinary becomes a constellation of effort. Awe sneaks in where boredom used to live. See the sacred in the simple, and you'll never run out of wonder. I once stood in an office elevator when a stranger shifted just half a step so my bag wouldn't slam into the door. Half a step, 2 seconds, forgotten by everyone else. Yet that tiny courtesy bent my mood toward patience for the rest of the day. Practice this once a day. Write down the overlooked win, then ask, why did it matter? Who else made it possible? The answers will surprise you, and after 2 weeks you won't need to search. The wins will start appearing on their own because your vision will be tuned to see them. Most people scan for faults. You'll be scanning for value. And the person who sees hidden blessings in plain sight carries a calm that no crisis can counterfeit. So here's the challenge. Today, will you settle for generic thanks, or will you dig until you uncover treasure? Your energy is the currency of your life. Spend it blindly and you end up bankrupt by evening. Protect it wisely, and you show up full where it matters most. Most people treat exhaustion as normal, dragging their body like a phone running on 1%. But no one lives well on emergency mode. Once a day, at an unpredictable moment, Stop and ask yourself, am I being charged or drained right now? Don't answer with stories, answer with your body. Are your shoulders hunched? Is your breath shallow? Does your chest feel open or caged? These are not quirks, they are signals. If the answer is drained, you have 3 moves. Change the situation, change your stance, or step away completely. Close the app, shift your posture, excuse yourself from the loop. Later is too late. Power leaks rarely fix themselves. They bleed until you intervene. Energy always speaks before words. When your breath steadies, life around you begins to calm too. Contrary to what we've been told, not all struggle makes you stronger. Some reins held firm bring control. Others choke the horse. The wisdom is knowing which is which. Good fatigue feels like effort that adds to you. Bad fatigue feels like effort that empties you. The wisdom is knowing which is which, and this energy check helps you see the difference before the damage piles up. Do it daily and you'll develop an instinct. You'll know which people fuel you, which habits hollow you, and which spaces allow you to breathe. And from that awareness, choices sharpen. So let me ask, the next time your battery dips, will you wait for collapse, or will you protect your spark before it burns out? And because guarding your spark matters so much, I want to hand you something I rarely share. A hidden tool, a shield I was once given. Carry this and storms lose their teeth. Let me give you something extra here, something you won't find in books or routines. Consider it armor you can carry into any storm. The next time chaos pulls you, an argument online, a pointless debate, the silent war of comparison. Pause, whisper 2 lines. This is noise, not guidance. My energy is worth more than this scroll. I didn't invent these words. Kai once told me, noise will always invite you. Guidance never shouts. Learn the difference. I turned his wisdom into these 2 lines so I could carry them anywhere. Use them once and you'll feel the shift. Use them daily and they become instinct, an invisible shield. When chaos calls, pause before answering. Not every noise deserves your reply. Most wounds hit once. The second strike is the one we deliver ourselves. Spill coffee, forget a name, lose your place in a meeting. The event stings, but the voice makes it bleed. Stupid, clumsy, weak. That voice has been trained to cut deeper than any critic outside of you. Here's the shift. When that voice attacks, stop for a single breath. Inhale slowly, exhale fully, and replace the lash with a line. Given what I knew, I did what I could. Now I know more, simple, not sweet, clear, not cruel. You're not excusing, you're adjusting. I once slipped on a wet trail in the mountains, palms scraped and pride bruised. My old habit shouted, careless. 1 breath, 1 swap. I stood up, tightened my laces, and kept climbing. The mountain didn't need my shame. It needed my steadiness. Psychologists call the repeated attack the second arrow. The Stoics called it distorted judgment. Modern science calls it stress replay. Whatever the name, it drains twice the energy for half the lesson. The harshest wound isn't what happens. It's the voice you train to repeat it. This 1 breath swap interrupts the spiral before it digs its claws in. Practice it anywhere. At your desk after a missed line of code. In traffic after taking the wrong turn. At dinner when you forgot the detail you meant to remember. 1 breath, 1 line, then forward. Over weeks, the critic softens, the pause lengthens, and you begin to hear curiosity where condemnation once lived. When you're no longer at war with yourself, others feel it too. You become safer to be around, not because you're flawless, but because you've made peace with being human. Let the voice inside turn kind. Tonight your mind is a friend learning to rest beside you. Many nights end with looping endlessly, but you can close the day softly by remembering what was completed. Most of us end the day like prisoners of our own mind. We climb into bed and immediately replay everything unfinished, emails unsent, projects half done, words left hanging. It's like putting yourself on trial every night, and the sentence is always the same. Not enough. But here's the reversal. Productivity isn't defined by what you left undone. It's proven by what you carried through, however small. No wonder mornings already feel heavy before the sun even rises. But there's a better way to close the day. Instead of obsessing over what slipped, honor what was completed, no matter how small. 3 things. That's it. Not the big milestones, but the quiet wins that usually vanish in the blur. Sending that text you'd been avoiding. Choosing patience instead of snapping back. Drinking water instead of reaching for soda. They may look ordinary, but they count. One evening, Elena and I prepared Christmas gifts for children at a charity center. Wrapping paper scattered, boxes half done. Midnight arrived with work unfinished. She sighed. So much effort and still not done. The old me would have called it failure. Instead, I noticed her smile as she tied one ribbon, the quiet joy of picturing the kids' faces. That night, I wrote it as one of my 3 completions. I stayed present in the giving, even when the task remained unfinished. When I wrote it down, it looked so small on paper, but sometimes the smallest line saves the whole page. And I woke lighter, knowing love matters more than a perfect finish. Here's the practice. Keep a small notebook by your bed. Each night before sleep, jot down 3 done moments. Or if your eyes are already heavy, just recall them gently. 3 quiet completions whispered in your heart. They don't need to be perfect or impressive. They just need to be real. After a few weeks, your mind begins scanning for these wins during the day. You notice progress instead of pressure. You see effort where you once only saw failure. This is how you build what I call completion momentum. You start trusting yourself again, not because you did it all, but because you followed through on something. And trust in yourself is the fuel of reinvention. As this day closes, let what's complete be enough. The rest will wait, peace doesn't. Change doesn't come from one dramatic leap. It comes from building a system that whispers to you every day until it becomes your second nature. These 5 practices, your morning reset, your gratitude hunt, your energy check, your breath of self-kindness, and your nightly declaration, are not random. They are parts of an engine. And when they turn together for 30 days, they create a rhythm stronger than willpower. Think of it like training a muscle. 1 rep means little. 30 days means the muscle remembers even when you don't. Each habit plants a small flag in your day. Dawn, midday, night. And by the end of the month, those flags mark out a new territory. That territory is you. I used to believe transformation required a grand turning point, a collapse, a revelation, a perfect Monday to begin again. But real change is quieter. It hides in the check boxes you keep. I've lived this. 30 days of consistency changed me more than 30 years of chasing intensity. Here's how you begin. Make a simple grid for the month. 5 boxes each day. Morning, gratitude, early breath, done. Miss one? Don't punish yourself. Fill the next. By the end of the month, you won't just see check marks. You'll see evidence of a different self taking shape. I once visited a dam under construction. For weeks, nothing looked impressive, just concrete being poured, mud everywhere, and workers repeating the same steps day after day. But then came the first heavy rain. The water rushed in, and suddenly that quiet, repetitive labor revealed its power. The reservoir filled, and an entire valley lit up with electricity. That's what these 30 days do. Each habit is a small pour of concrete. At first, it feels like nothing changes, but then pressure comes, life tests you, and instead of collapsing, you hold. Energy, calm, and focus rush in, and the structure you've built begins to power everything around you. 30 days is short enough to ignore, but long enough to change your face in the mirror. One morning you'll look up and realize the stranger staring back is you, reborn. Each small act plants calm where chaos used to live. That's how renewal begins, quietly within. You don't need a new life to live differently. You need new defaults. 2 minutes at dawn to clear the noise. One precise gratitude to sharpen your sight. An energy check to guard your spark. A single breath to soften your self-talk. 3 nightly completions to end your day with strength. Stacked together, they don't just change habits, they change identity. Do this for 30 days and people around you will sense something has shifted. They won't know why, but they'll see it in your eyes, in the steadiness of your presence. And you'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't some grand breakthrough. It was 5 small acts, repeated until they rewrote the story you tell about yourself. Kai once told me, the future you is always waiting in the choices you make today. That line has never left me, and now it belongs to you. For now, no choice is needed. Just rest in the knowing that change has already begun. Restraint, gratitude, presence, breath, completion. Together they uncover the self that was always waiting. So begin. Tomorrow morning, take your 2 minutes. By night, write your 3 lines. Let the cycle turn, or let it wait. Transformation listens to stillness too. And when someone looks at you months from now and says, "You seem different," you'll smile, because you'll know you've finally uncovered the version of you that was there all along. Waiting beneath the noise. The version of you beneath the noise is already here. Stay resting. You are safe. The next reflection will arrive like dawn. You've been told a lie. The harder you grind, the more you'll get. But the Stoics knew the opposite. The harder you chase, the faster it runs. Here's the shock. When you stop clenching, life starts opening. When you release the cage of desperate desire, everything you've been chasing begins to flow toward you. Marcus Aurelius wrote that life moves best when we stop wrestling against its current. Seneca warned that slavery hides not in chains, but in endless wanting. And Epictetus taught, freedom begins the moment desire no longer owns you. This is not about abandoning ambition, it's about rewiring it. Take this in, calm is not weakness. Calm is the magnet. You don't have to chase. What belongs to your path will always find its way home. For now, let the mind slow. Let the reflection arrive softly like quiet waves meeting the shore. People think desire itself is strength. It isn't. Desire is neutral. It only becomes power when you carry it with the right grip. Most people strangle their goals. They hold on so tightly their knuckles ache, and in the process they crush the very thing they wanted to keep alive. The Stoics saw this clearly. Epictetus taught, when life takes something away, don't cry that it's been stolen. Say instead, I returned it. That is not weakness, it's liberation. Think about a young man glued to his phone, refreshing for likes, waiting for hearts on a post. The more he needs approval, the emptier he feels. But the friend who posts without obsession, who moves on with calm assurance, seems to attract all the attention naturally. Desire works the same way. The more you grasp at it like a drowning man gasping for air, the more it slips away. Picture not a farmer this time, but a climber on a cliff. Grip the rope with a death lock and your arms burn out. Hold it steady with rhythm and trust, and you rise higher. The energy of sufficiency is gravity, quiet, invisible, but irresistible. Here's the twist. The moment you stop needing, you begin drawing in. The moment you set down the cage of desperation, you find yourself free, and the world begins leaning in your direction. Whisper it once for yourself, I want, but I am not chained. I act, but I am not enslaved. Let that truth sit for a second, because the tighter the fist, the faster the dream slips through your fingers. So loosen your grip a little. What's meant for you won't vanish. It's simply waiting for you to soften. How many hours of your life have you wasted replaying yesterday or rehearsing tomorrow? Be honest, your mind is everywhere except here. And here is the only place power exists. Seneca wrote, life is divided into 3 parts: what was, what is, and what will be. Of these, the present is brief, yet it is the only one that belongs to us. He wasn't writing poetry, he was issuing a warning. Think not only of a driver on the highway, but of a surgeon in an operating room. If her mind wanders to yesterday's mistake or tomorrow's schedule, she risks a life on the table. Power lives only in precision here, now, in this moment. And here's the strange truth. The instant you anchor in the present, the future unfolds more smoothly. Why? Because clarity lives here. Decisions made here are sharper. Attention rooted here notices openings others rush past. Now, plant yourself in this moment. Put your feet on the floor of reality. Look around. 3 things you can see, 3 you can hear, 3 you can touch. You've just stepped into the only battlefield that matters, the present. Remember this, tomorrow is only a rumor, yesterday is only a shadow. Today is the arena. And right now, you are safe in this moment. There's nowhere else to be, nothing else to fix. Just this breath, just this peace. Master this moment, and life itself begins to tilt toward you. Most people see obstacles as a sign they should quit. The Stoics saw them as the very bricks that build strength. Marcus Aurelius, who led Rome through plague and betrayal, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think of a blacksmith at his forge. The hammer and the fire don't destroy the iron. They carve it into a blade. In the same way, resistance doesn't crush you. It sculpts you. But let's bring it closer. Imagine a weightlifter. The iron bar pressing down is the very thing that grows his muscles. Without resistance, there is no strength. Without pressure, there is no capacity. Look closely at your own life. Every closed door has sharpened you. Every betrayal has forced your vision clearer. Every delay has carved patience into your bones. Hold that thought. Every setback was shaping, not shattering, and actually picture those moments. See how they were building you instead of breaking you. That's the truth, period. The weak see resistance and sigh, life is against me. The strong whisper, life is preparing me. Even resistance can rest. It's enough to breathe through what is, without fighting to change it tonight. Here's the reversal. The obstacle in your path is secretly the bridge to your next level. Smooth roads breed fragile travelers. Rough terrain forges unbreakable ones. Every delay carves patience into your bones, not punishment, training. So the next time life throws a wall in front of you, don't cry, why me? Ask, what is this wall making me strong enough to carry? Every day you hand away your power, and that's why you feel fragile. A single insult ruins your mood. A number in your account dictates your worth. A stranger's opinion on a glowing screen steals your peace. You've surrendered the throne. Epictetus warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is not about wealth or fame. It is about refusing to let your inner kingdom be ruled by outsiders. Picture this. Your mind is not a television. It's a castle. And yet most people throw the keys to anyone passing by. A careless comment, a random notification, an empty comparison. All of them barge in, sit on the throne, and declare how you should feel. But when you hold the keys, you decide who enters, you decide who rules. Breathe now. Notice how different it feels when you imagine holding the keys yourself. Here's the hidden truth. When your joy no longer depends on applause, opportunities come faster. People trust those who don't beg for approval. Life itself bends toward those who radiate stability. Picture yourself holding the keys to your own castle. Notice how the noise outside can't reach the throne when you're the one guarding it. Now rest there for a moment. The gates are closed, the world quiet. This peace belongs to you, and that's how strength is built. In a world that glorifies constant motion, the bravest move is often stillness. We confuse activity with progress, but they are not the same. Think of a chess master. The impatient player pushes pieces just to feel busy. The master waits, studies, and when the right opening comes, a single move shifts the entire game. Or picture an archer. The crowd gets restless, but he does not rush. He draws the bow, holds the tension, breathes, and only releases when everything aligns. That pause, the moment of stillness, carries the arrow farther than frantic release ever could. Now you don't need to shoot any arrow, just rest in the draw, knowing that stillness itself is strength. The Stoics understood this deeply. Rest is not laziness. Non-action at the right time is strategy. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that ambition is measured not by constant noise, but by deliberate direction. Sometimes your ambition is served not by pushing harder, but by stepping aside and letting unseen forces align the board for you. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is power in disguise. Hold that image. The arrow flying furthest is the one drawn back longest before release. Here's the twist. What looks like weakness is often the greatest strength. Filling every silence with noise blocks the answers trying to reach you. But when you pause, you make space for clarity to enter. So next time you feel the panic to act, just to act, whisper, "Not yet. I choose patience." The arrow that flies furthest is the one held back longest before release. Most people think gratitude is soft, a polite thank you before rushing back into craving more. The Stoics saw it as raw power. Gratitude is gravity. It anchors you. It pulls more of what you value toward you. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." He knew a man could own estates and gold, yet remain poor if he never felt enough. Gratitude transforms possessions into wealth, moments into treasures, struggles into lessons. Imagine not just a sailor dropping his anchor, but an astronaut in orbit. Without gravity, he floats lost, drifting in endless space. With it, he is tethered, steady, connected. Gratitude is that invisible force. When you drop your anchor into what you already have, you stop spinning in the void of endless wanting. Let gratitude anchor you now. Feel the quiet pull of what's already here, steady and enough. And here's the paradox hidden in plain sight. When you live in fullness instead of lack, you stop repelling life's blessings. Picture an anchor sinking deep into calm waters. That's what gratitude does when you name the small things that carried you today. Say it with me. I root myself in gratitude. From that root, everything grows. Because if you can't value the cup of water in your hand, even the ocean itself would never quench you. Let me tell you something. Most people don't even make it this far. If you're still here, you're not like most. You're building the discipline Stoicism demands. Most people live as slaves to their emotions. Anger arrives and they erupt. Fear whispers and they retreat. Sadness knocks and they collapse. But the Stoics taught a radical truth. Emotions are servants, not masters. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." In other words, your interpretation, not the event itself, creates your reality. Picture a wild horse. Untrained, it drags its rider into chaos. With a firm hand, the same animal becomes speed and strength. Your emotions are that horse. Either you ride them or they drag you. But let's expand the image. Think of electricity. Left uncontrolled, it burns houses down. Guided through wires, it lights entire cities. Emotions are raw energy. Unchecked, they destroy. Channeled, they build. That's it. Simple as that. Here's a reversal. When you deny emotions, they control you from the shadows. But when you face them, acknowledge them and guide them, they become your fuel. Remember, emotions are not storms sent to drown you. They are winds you can shape into sails. Let those winds rest tonight. The ocean doesn't need to move for you to feel its peace. Modern culture shouts at you daily, you are not enough, never rich enough, never admired enough, never accomplished enough. The Stoics shattered that illusion. Seneca, who tasted both luxury and exile, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Imagine two people drinking water. One sips and feels refreshed. He is rich. Another dunks his head into a river and still cries, "I'm thirsty." He is poor beyond measure. Or look at the lottery winner who suddenly has millions but ends up bankrupt, depressed, even broken within years. Because wealth without the sense of enough turns into emptiness. Here's the hidden truth. When you embrace enough, abundance multiplies. Because you no longer act from desperation. You act from clarity, from grounded strength. And that energy draws in more. Imagine standing in a room filled with everything you already own. Health, relationships, breath. Let yourself see the wealth that's been with you all along. Say it with me, I am already enough. From this truth I attract more. Because if you cannot feel rich with a little, you will remain bankrupt even with a lot. One of the fastest ways to kill your destiny is to live a life that doesn't belong to you. When you wear masks to please others, when you follow paths chosen by someone else, you send the universe a false signal. How can what's meant for you ever find you if it doesn't recognize you? Marcus Aurelius warned, "It never ceases to amaze me." We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Think of a fire. A flame that burns on cheap fuel sputters and days. But a fire fed by its true element blazes steady and bright. Authenticity is that true fuel. Now picture a musician playing songs only to please the crowd. He gains applause but loses himself. Compare him to the artist who sings what burns in his soul. Maybe fewer cheer, but the music lives forever. That is authentic fire. Here's the hard truth. Being real won't make everyone love you. Some doors will close, some people will drift away. But the doors that remain open are the right ones. And the people who stay are the ones who matter. Remember that always. Let that image play in your mind. Doors close, masks fall, and what remains is your true fire. So today, speak one sentence you've been holding back. Take one step that aligns with your deepest truth. That spark is your authentic fire. For now, let the flame rest low. Even embers glow enough to keep you warm. Say it with me. I release the mask. I live by my true flame. Because the false self burns out fast. The real self burns for life. Impatience is the enemy of peace. You want things now on your schedule and your design. But life has its own rhythm, and the Stoics trusted that rhythm more than their own demands. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." Think of a sailor at sea. He cannot drag the sun above the horizon. He cannot command the tide. But he knows beyond doubt that dawn will come and the tide will turn. That trust keeps him steady through the night. Or imagine planting a tree. You water it daily, but no matter how much you demand, the fruit will not ripen until its season. Trusting the horizon means respecting life's timing. Here's the unsettling truth. Delays are not denials. They are often protection. They are preparation. Sometimes you must grow into the version of yourself capable of holding what you've asked for. Other times, the world must rearrange before the door can open. So let this settle inside you. You don't need to pull the sun into the sky. You only need to be ready when it rises. The horizon always keeps its promise. You don't need to reach for it tonight. Just rest in its coming light. How many of your greatest blessings came exactly when you expected them? Almost none. And yet they came, often in better form than you imagined. So let this settle. You don't need to pull the sun into the sky. You only need to be ready when it rises. And remember this before we close. Chase life and you collapse. Stand still with trust, and life itself kneels before you. These Stoic rules are not lofty philosophy. They are armor, forged in fire, carried through centuries, meant for moments exactly like the ones you face. Desire without chains, power in the present, fuel from resistance, the throne within, the pause that wins, gratitude as gravity, emotions as servants, the wealth of enough, the authentic fire, and trust in the horizon. Together they form a fortress, not of stone, but of mind. A fortress no betrayal, no storm, no failure can topple. And now let that fortress become silence. The kind of silence that heals, that protects, that waits. Everything you need is already on its way. Stay resting. You are safe. The next reflection will rise with the dawn. Loneliness isn't quiet. It screams the loudest when you're surrounded by people. We all know that weight, the silent anxiety, the smile that feels borrowed, the night where sleep won't come. Right now, you don't need to solve anything. Just breathe. Let the body grow heavier, the jaw unclench, the shoulders soften. And here's the contrarian truth. Even the Stoics, yes, the emperors, the philosophers, the warriors of resilience, felt it too. History crowns Alexander as a conqueror, Cleopatra as a queen of allure, and Qin Shi Huang as the ruler who bound a nation. Yet behind their golden halls and endless armies, each carried the same silent weight: loneliness, fear, and the shadow of despair. Power filled their hands, but not their hearts. If kings and queens could not escape loneliness, why do we think we can outrun it? What set them apart was not the absence of sorrow, but how they faced it. And in that, they left us lessons still breathing today. And that's what you'll uncover now. Receive them gently. You can rest with eyes closed. The words will keep watch, not to erase them, but to transform them into fuel for clarity, strength, and even joy. Some of these 12 will sound familiar, others will strike you like lightning, but each will challenge the way you meet yourself, your family, your friends, even the strangers in your life. And hidden halfway, there's a rare practice, a ritual so unusual it can dissolve loneliness the very moment you try it. Don't miss it. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop running from silence and instead use it as your power? Then stay with me. Let's begin. Ever noticed how your thoughts change the moment your body moves? It's not magic, it's biology. But to your spirit, it feels like a secret doorway out of heaviness. When you sit still too long, loneliness grows like dust in a locked room. But the moment you walk, stretch, or lift something, it's like opening the windows. The air shifts. Even 5 minutes of moving can whisper to your mind, you are not stuck. If you're resting now, a small movement is enough. Soften the hands, release the belly, let the breath lengthen. Think of your body as a river. If it flows, it clears itself. If it stands still, it grows dark and heavy. Depression loves still water. Movement breaks it. I used to laugh at this advice. I thought exercise was only for people chasing six-packs or medals. Meanwhile, I was stuck at a desk, scrolling, telling myself, I'll feel better after one more video, one more snack. Spoiler, it never worked. But one afternoon, I stepped out just to hang the laundry. Nothing dramatic, just a few shirts on a line. Yet as my arms stretched and my body moved, my thoughts loosened too. The weight of old worries slipped for a moment. I even caught myself whistling a tune, smiling for no reason at all. Moving your body doesn't mean running away from loneliness. It means walking straight into it, showing your mind you're still alive, still capable of action, still in control. So ask yourself right now, will you let your body become a prison or your ally? Each gentle breath is already rewriting the mood of the body. Have you noticed how easily we forgive others, but how harshly we speak to ourselves? It's like carrying two voices inside, one that offers kindness to the world and another that lashes out at our own heart. Picture this. When a colleague forgets a promise, you smile and say, "Don't worry, it happens." But when you forget something yourself, the smile disappears. You replay it in your head all night, calling yourself careless, useless, not enough. We forgive others quickly, yet treat ourselves like enemies. The paradox is clear. You cannot heal loneliness if the loneliest place is inside your own mind. Epictetus once said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about things. And the harshest judgments are often turned inward." I knew a man who ended a relationship because they had simply grown apart. Nothing dramatic, just two paths no longer matching. But instead of seeing it as life's natural turn, he told himself, "It's because I wasn't good enough." The words cut deep, and repeating them made him believe them. Here's the shift. Speak to yourself as you would to your closest friend. If a friend came to you in tears, would you say, "You're worthless"? Or would you put a hand on their shoulder and say, "It's hard, but you'll get through this"? Why should you deserve less compassion than a stranger? So when you catch yourself using cruel words against yourself, pause. Replace them with gentler ones. Instead of calling yourself stupid or inadequate, try saying, "I'm being tested," or "I just need more patience," or "Next time I'll know better." Because loneliness shrinks when self-kindness grows. The critic inside doesn't have to be your master. It can be retrained into an ally. Think about it. If you became your own friend today, what weight would finally lift? One of the most dangerous illusions loneliness creates is the belief that you don't have enough. Not enough friends, not enough attention, not enough love. And so you start chasing more invitations, more followers, more validation. But the strange truth is this: the more you chase, the emptier it feels. I once knew a man who lived alone in a quiet apartment. He told me, "I won't be happy until I have a big circle of friends like everyone else." So he forced himself into endless parties, networking events, dinners with people he barely knew. The result? He came home lonelier than before, surrounded by noise, but starving for connection. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Apply that to loneliness, and it means this: craving more company than you truly need can make you feel poorer than you are. Here's what shifted for him. One night he gave up on chasing. Instead, he called a single old friend, ordered cheap takeout, and they laughed over childhood stories until midnight. That evening filled him more than all the crowded rooms he had run through before. He discovered what the Stoics knew, that enough connection is not measured by numbers, but by depth. The cure isn't piling up contacts. It's recognizing that one honest conversation can sometimes be richer than 100 shallow ones. The moment you realize that, the pressure lifts. The silence in your life becomes less of a punishment, more of a space to value what already exists. In this quiet, notice one small thing that is already enough: your breath moving without effort. So ask yourself, if one message, one friendship, one moment of presence could be enough for today, how much lighter would your loneliness feel? When you're trapped in a problem, it feels like the whole world shrinks down to that one issue. But shift your view, and suddenly the same problem loses its teeth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look at the stars often, and remind yourself that running after fame, power, or anger is of little value." The man who ruled an empire trained himself to zoom out daily, so his mind wouldn't be caged by petty quarrels. Here's the irony: your suffering grows not from the size of the problem, but from the narrowness of your view. Widen it and the problem shrinks. So here's a small practice. Next time you feel trapped, pause. Ask yourself, will this still matter 5 years from now? Or even 5 months? Most of the time, the answer will bring relief. Because when you zoom out, you don't just see less of the problem, you see more of life. And life is always bigger than whatever hurts today. Pain isolates, but shared pain transforms. When you fight alone, every step feels heavier. But when you carry the weight side by side with someone else, and the same struggle becomes bearable, even meaningful. Loneliness feeds on the belief, I have to carry this myself. But the Stoics reminded us that humans are made for community. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids." In other words, even nature designed us to function together. I knew a man who went through a painful divorce. He thought he had to be strong in silence, so he cut himself off from friends. The loneliness nearly broke him. Only when he joined a local support group did things change. Sitting in a circle of strangers, he realized they are carrying the same scars. Sharing his story didn't erase the pain, but it dissolved the feeling of being uniquely cursed. Suffering doesn't multiply when shared, it divides. Even now, as you rest, imagine a quiet circle forming around you, kindness sitting nearby, saying nothing, just breathing with you. One voice saying, "Me too," can turn despair into resilience. So when you feel the darkness pressing in, don't withdraw. Reach for someone. Join a group, call a friend. Volunteer your time. you'll discover that connection doesn't just lighten your load, it gives others permission to set theirs down too. Let's be honest, if you carried today's burden with one more set of hands, how much lighter would it feel? Have you ever heard the saying, successful people walk their own path? It sounds simple, but living it is hard because it's so easy to lose yourself in the noise of other people's lives. Your friend buys a new car, suddenly you want one. A couple you know posts vacation photos, suddenly your relationship feels flat. We don't even live our own story anymore. We rent someone else's script. Here's the trap. Comparison doesn't only breed envy, it breeds loneliness. Because the more you stare at other people's paths, the less connected you feel to your own. Seneca spoke of euthymia, the discipline of focusing on one's journey without being pulled by the crossroads of others. It's a lesson our age needs more than ever, when scrolling through your phone can feel like scrolling through a hall of mirrors, each one showing you what you lack. Getting sidetracked feels harmless, but it quietly drains your joy. A wrong step on your own path can always be corrected, but if you never walk your own path, you lose the chance to live it at all. So try this simple practice. Once a week, unplug from comparison. Close the apps, step away from the gossip, and write one page about what you want, not what the world is shouting. Because the moment you stop measuring yourself against others, you discover a freedom that feels rare today. The freedom to belong fully to your own life. And once you've reclaimed that freedom, the next step is to anchor it with a simple ritual. Something unusual you can try for yourself. As I promised, here's something special. Not theory, not a quote, but a small ritual you can try tomorrow morning. Simple, free, and strangely powerful. At dawn, step outside barefoot, onto grass, sand, or even the cool stone near your doorway. Feel the ground press against your skin. Take 3 deep breaths, slow, steady, filling your lungs. And as you breathe, whisper one short line to yourself, like a mantra. I am not alone. The earth and I breathe as one. It sounds almost too simple. But the moment your feet touch the earth, your mind wakes up differently. The chatter of yesterday softens. The loneliness feels less sharp, as if the world itself is reminding you, you belong here. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. So try it. Tomorrow at dawn before the world wakes, step out barefoot. Breathe, speak your line. Let the earth remind you that loneliness is not forever. It's just a passing cloud over a sky that is still yours. One of the deepest roots of loneliness is the belief that this will never end. But nothing in life is permanent. Not joy, not pain, not even the sharpest shadow in your heart. Think of children at home. The nights of sleepless crying feel endless for young parents, until suddenly years pass and they find themselves missing those cries. What felt eternal was only a season. The same is true for your sorrow. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, all is ephemeral, both memory and the object of memory. Even the glory of an emperor was destined to fade. So how can we expect our private pains to stay forever? Even the lives of stars remind us nothing is fixed. Robert Downey Jr. once lost everything, his career, his freedom, even hope. But with time and perseverance, he rose again, and the world came to know him as Iron Man, the unshakable hero of Marvel. His story proves that pain is never permanent, but growth can be. And admit it, we all love a comeback story, maybe because deep down we want our own. Here's the twist. Impermanence isn't only bad news. It means your sadness cannot chain you forever. But it also means your moments of peace and laughter are treasures to be held. because they too will pass. Loneliness is like a cloud. It seems endless when you stand beneath it, but from above, it is small and drifting. If you wait, the sky clears, and you realize the storm was never the whole story. Whisper to yourself, this pain is temporary, but my strength is not. Here's a thing you might resist. The hardest days often teach you more than the easy ones ever could. Adversity feels like a thief. It steals your comfort, your plans, even your pride. But look closer and you'll see it's also a teacher, handing you lessons wrapped in pain. There's an old tale of a farmer. His horse ran away and people said, "What bad luck?" He answered, "Maybe." Days later, the horse returned with more horses. "What good luck?" they said. Again, he replied, "Maybe." Then his son broke his leg trying to ride one. "Terrible luck." "Maybe." Soon after, war came, and every able young man was taken, except his injured son. The lesson, what feels like misfortune or fortune in the moment, is never the full story. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." It's not about chasing hardship, but about refusing to waste it. Every obstacle carries a hidden workout for your resilience. Comfort rarely grows you. It's friction, failure, and frustration that carve depth into your character. Smooth seas don't make strong sailors, storms do. So whisper to yourself now, this isn't the end. This is the sharpening. Many people think strength means silence, pretending nothing hurts. But suppressing emotions is like stuffing clothes into an overfilled drawer. Sooner or later it bursts open, and the mess is worse. Name it first, then steer it. Stillness isn't the absence of motion. It's finding calm while the world moves on. Seneca wrote, "It is better to conquer grief than to deceive it." The Stoics never taught us to bury our feelings. They taught us to face them, name them, and then guide in them. Think of emotions as visitors at your door. If you pretend they're not there, they bang louder. If you open the door and let them sit for a moment, they often leave on their own. Loneliness, anger, sadness, they're not permanent roommates. They're guests that pass through. The truth is, when you admit your sorrow, you don't get weaker. You get lighter. Hiding it builds chains. Naming it breaks them. So next time those heavy emotions come knocking, don't push them away. Say to yourself, I am feeling this, and that's normal. Soon I will steady myself again. The world never stops moving. News updates, messages, family demands, everything pulls for your attention. And yet the Stoics believe that peace isn't found in escaping the noise, but in carrying stillness within it. Think of sitting in a crowded cafe. Cups clatter, voices rise, chairs scrape the floor. But in the middle of it, you close your eyes for just one breath. For that brief moment, the chaos doesn't vanish, but it no longer owns you. You become the calm eye in the storm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." His words remind us, you don't need to flee the world to find peace. You need only return to yourself. Stillness is not weakness, it's strength disguised as quiet. It's what lets you think clearly when others panic, and stay gentle when others snap. So next time the world spins too fast, pause, breathe, and whisper, I carry calm within me. We spend so much of life wishing the story had turned out differently. If only I had chosen better. If only they had stayed. If only life had been kinder. But fighting with reality is like wrestling a river. You exhaust yourself, and the river still flows its own way. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of fate. It doesn't mean enjoying every hardship. It means choosing to see even the unwanted as part of the path that shapes you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." The meaning is clear. Whatever life throws at you, loss, change, even heartbreak, can become fuel for your growth. So when loneliness arrives, don't ask life to erase it. Accept it as a guest passing through your story. Sometimes pain brings wisdom, endings bring beginnings, and silence brings clarity. Pause for a moment and talk to yourself. I don't need life to be different. I need to be present for the life I have. You've just walked through quiet moments of reflection. No tricks, no comfort, just reminders that even heaviness can turn into strength. You are not broken. You're being shaped. The fire that once burned you now burns steady. You haven't lost anything real. You've simply released what was never yours to carry. Let your body soften. You don't need to fix or prove anything. You've done enough. Even when you feel alone, you're not. The earth still holds you. The air still gives. The sky still forgives. Let this silence be your sanctuary. Maybe loneliness isn't punishment, it's preparation. Some gifts only arrive in silence. So ask not, when will this end? But what is it teaching me? Be thankful for the breath, the heart, the quiet that holds you. Gratitude turns emptiness into peace. Now rest. You are safe. You are home. Peace isn't coming. It's already here. If this brought you calm, stay in this space. Subscribe and explore Stoic Sleep, Calm Nights, and Inner Peace. Each reflection there was made to remind you, you've never walked alone. Rest easy. You've done enough. You've always been enough.